In the past couple of videos, we've been looking at using the code sandbox to kind of get a small start on coding. But now that we want to build a slightly larger project, we want some more reliability and to have a little bit more control of the environment, we've been looking at setting up a code editor, actually a text editor, where we can have a little bit more control over not only the environment that we're going to be building, but some of the additional components that are going to be used or extensions, whatever we want inside of our projects. So as we started with Code Sandbox, we're going to build another project with React on it. Now, I'm going to put a couple of these links at the bottom. But before we even get started with that, once we already have Visual Studio Code installed, we're going to have to add on a few things before we can actually get, fired up and started with building our own projects. So inside React, we're going to go ahead and look at one quick thing, which is create a new React app. And inside here, there are a couple of requirements before we can even get started. The biggest two items are going to be Node and also NPM. Now, headed over here to nodejs.org, they have the current and the latest build. So I highly recommend just going completely in and going for the nightly build, just so that you can get all the latest features as soon as they come out, any of the new fixes, anything like that. But also take that with a grain of salt. Make sure you understand that there is the possibility that a bug could get through, even though in my experience it hasn't been an issue. The second thing that we're going to have to install is going to be the npm command line interface. So again, I will leave this documentation for you. Please go over it, check it out. It gives you all the instructions. I'm not really going to hold your hand as you're going through this, because I think it's really important that you lay some eyes onto these instructions and then get a feel for reading documentation and not being afraid to, hey, you know what? I need to go research something. Let me go, check out this website, find all the information myself, and then build from there. Now, I know we also talked about getting Hyper started. Right here, we're going to look at it one more time because there is an extension that I want to add to it, which is actually a different shell that you're going to put onto it. It's called OhmyZSH, and the reason I'm highly recommending this is because it does have what we'll later look at, a lot of features. Predominantly the Git features is what I was looking for. This allows you to control repositories and have versioning control. Again, something we'll look at a little bit later on, but definitely something you might want to take in consideration. And just a brief, just quickly overview, 3 extensions I highly recommend putting onto your VS Code. Number 1 being Prettier, just so that it formats your code and keeps everything very uniform, going through everything. An ESLint or a linter for your code. This way it'll show you any incorrect structure inside of your code while you're writing it. And then last but not least, a couple of snippets, just so that once you get used to using some of these shorthands, it allows you to go a little bit quicker. So that's going to be it for this one. When we join back up in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to try to get started with VS Code. I'm going to go ahead and have a browser open and ready to go. And we're going to see if we can kick off our very first project inside React.